you close it.
Nah, you close it.
No, you close. I'm just your father. And then if there's time, you'll let me say something?
You can have plenty of time.
Brother was down on the field. I would
should
take my shirt off and do all of that.
Yeah, and none of us in the family would like that.
What is the difference between partly cloudy and mostly sunny? Because when it's partly cloudy, it's mostly sunny. And when it's mostly sunny, it's partly cloudy. So what the hell's the difference? It's in the answer if you watch Jeopardy.
The answer's in the answer.
Sometimes.
Or the question.
Or the, no, well, it has to be a question. Half Irish, half Italian.
I couldn't tell either or.
Yeah, that's the guy that gets drunk and beats people up.
If I was on the ground, the first thing my wife would say is he's fine. He's just being dramatic.
Who's that?
It's all good.
All right.
Brent, if you need Brent, if you need to cough, just cough. Now we got to pay him for that. You want to play with us? Go ahead and keep score. Don't tell us what your score is, because I'm not
Who
going
are
to
you
care.
talking to? Your imaginary friend that you had out through high school?
Pretty much.
What was his name? Bobby?
Jimmy.
Bobby.
Question, because it's so dumb.
Right. And it's not, I'll give you, you don't have to, if I do it.
Pop, pop, fizz, fizz.
Welcome, everybody, to our podcast, Can I Call You Dad? We are talking today about what we might want to put into a family time capsule.
Yeah.
Time capsule that would be opened 30 years from now, so that people would know what we like, what we didn't like, what kind of people we were,
Now, this is
and what kind of food we ate, probably.
Now, we talked about this earlier. Is it only that fits into a time capsule, or just metaphorically, like it could be anything that means something to us?
Well, yeah, metaphorically, I guess we could do metaphorically first.
Okay.
So metaphorically, I would put my bongos that my mom gave me when I was 16.
Okay.
That were really hideous. They were
Why did she give them to you?
Because I would. My mother gave it to me for my 16th birthday because, and I think she got them at a pawn shop, by the way.
Doesn't matter where she got them.
I would be in the kitchen doing this. And she said, I'm sick of that. And so she bought me these bongos and said, stay out of my kitchen.
So she amplified it.
So, well, she didn't amplify it. She made it mobile. She made it so I had to go away from her kitchen table.
Yeah, but you could have gone right back into the kitchen now with the cook.
Yeah, but
10 times louder.
No, and you know, much more musical.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually somewhat tunable.
So was music, we never really talked about this, was music just huge in your household?
Well, my dad played guitar, played three chords.
I knew that.
That was it. And Ovi played guitar.
Right. But so there was no one else?
Well, Junior sang a little bit. My sisters didn't have any musical talent. Herman never had any musical talent. And then once I got bongos, I started working on that. Like my first song I ever learned to play was Oye Como Va by the Tito Puente version. So that was, and then the next song, which was a really hard bongo pattern, is a song by El Gran Combo called Aguanile, which has got a crazy bongo beat. Anyway, that was my foray. But my dad played guitar.
Okay.
He would play three chords and make up lyrics.
Did you guys ever play together?
No, we never played together. That was when we were all younger. When we were little, he'd play guitar when he was sober enough to play guitar. Most of the time he wasn't, but when he was, it was cool. We would sit around and he'd play. He had an old guitar he bought in 1953 that I have, and we wrote a song called "My Father's Guitar," which he should record again, by the way.
Probably
that's okay. I'll probably sell it to Keith Urban, make millions of dollars, and then you'll be sorry.
Good luck. It doesn't really work like that anymore.
Okay, we'll see.
This isn't 1984.
Anyway, I have his guitar. I might, maybe, if metaphorically, maybe I'd put that in a time capsule.
The guitar?
I thought it'd be worth a lot of money. I took it to Guitar Center, and they said no.
Oh, yeah, it's just a needling guitar. Yeah.
It's just it's got a big A in the middle.
I think what was hilarious was there were 6 strings, and 3 of them were nylon. And
2 were metal. Right.
3 were metal. It was half and half. There were 3 nylon, 3 metal. So playing it for the first time, never playing guitar. Yeah. And that was the guitar from my early days before we bought my own that I would just grab to kind of practice. What an interesting way to learn. Where the bottom 3 strings were so easy to play. And the top
learned
ones
to
were hard.
play. I don't know how Ovi learned to play, but I used to ask him to teach me stuff, and he would never teach me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to. He did a song called Malagueña, and I said, "Oh, show me how to do that." And he's like, here. He goes, there you go. And then he handed me my dad's guitar, and I'm like, oh, that helps. But I did learn it. I learned it on my own.
Yeah.
That's one of the few songs I can play on the guitar.
There's a joke that all guitar players kind of know where it's like, this guy will sit down and go, look, it's really easy. And the person watching it is like, what? Yeah. How do you do any of that?
Yep. Well, I ordered a DVD. I bought it, didn't order, going way back. I bought a DVD for
people still
conga
order things,
lessons, beginner conga lessons. And I think you might remember. And the guy...
It was too simple, right?
Yeah, oh, no, the guy was like, okay, today we're going to learn the basic simple pattern. He was like... He goes, okay, now you want to do this. We're like, what?
How is this step 1 to 2?
It was step 1 to step 1,000 in like 10 seconds. So, yeah. Okay, metaphorically, that's what I would do. And then you said,
we were talking about it earlier. Probably the first drum set that was ever given to me, first musical instrument was given to me was a drum set.
Drums? That was drums, because you seem to want to play drums. And we got your drum set for... Was it Christmas, maybe?
Yes, it was the first Christmas I ever cried. Yeah. It was a green CB drum set. We have a photo of it.
Somewhere.
And I don't remember, I'm either in a Halloween costume.
I think you're in a baseball uniform.
But why the hell was I in a baseball uniform?
I don't know.
Oh, because the photo was taken way after Christmas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And you had you got the holding up the sticks and your...
Yeah. Do you have a photo from actually Christmas?
From when?
From actually Christmas?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah.
The thousands of photos.
I know. You're worse than like a female, man.
No, not anymore.
Well, you used to be just capture everything.
I tried.
Every moment of
my
the
camera
day.
Out whenever I could. But that's good. And that's one of the things I'd put in a real-time capsule.
All the photos.
We're off of metaphoric. So now photos, video.
Yep.
I'd like to do a video. I'd like to do a video where I talk about, over the years, what's transpired, how I came from here to here, and then back down to here, which is why we're doing this.
No, it isn't.
I should be in Hollywood making movies.
That's not
better than Danny DeVito.
That's not what we're doing.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Why would you
but
say
I did go.
Better than
I started writing a book. Actually, I started writing a book a few months ago called "How the Hell Did I Get Here?"
There you go.
And it's
didn't I give you that title?
No, the subtitle is how growing up Puerto Rican in an Italian neighborhood, because that's what I did. I grew up Puerto Rican in an Italian neighborhood with a father who made $300 a month, and then was able to go 1,000 times beyond what I would have ever dreamed I would be. All of us, my sisters, my brothers. We all excelled beyond. If my father was alive today, he would freak out at where we all are. We all did well.
That's the definition of the American dream.
It is, yes, it is, and it's also the definition of having a father who wasn't a great father, but the basic principles of life that he instilled in us: be a good person and take care of your family and do something with your life. And if whatever you're going to do it well. If you're going to be a janitor, be a great janitor.
Yeah,
if you're going to be a singer, be a great singer. If you're going to be an
whatever
astronaut,
you're going to do, be great at it.
Don't work for SpaceX because those things blow up.
That's
okay. Anyway, that's another thing.
You get so
you know what? I want to put my dog tags in the Navy.
Yeah.
I'd put those in there because those 4 years were. Those were good years. When I look back, when I was there, they didn't seem that good, but
I'd probably put my first guitar.
Yeah, that's good.
And my first, I'm huge. I was talking to someone last week about this. Like, what's the greatest gift people can give me? It's a pen and paper. I love pens, especially the nicer the pen and just paper and a journal.
Love writing.
And I probably put my first. You remember when I lived at home?
Yeah,
there were tons of pieces of paper just all over the place with lyrics and
they were all on the wall.
Well, I did that. So one of my motivating things.
You have a picture of that somewhere.
No, we don't.
I think
that we should. But one of my like missions was, okay, if I could fill the wall up with a song, like, a piece of paper, like then I would probably get a little bit better at this. That was kind of my motivation. Because when I first went to Nashville, I ever tell you why that motivation came there? Everyone kept asking me how many songs I had written. And I remember saying, 20 or 30 or something like that, a small number. And they're like, well, talk to me when you wrote 100 songs.
Right.
Talk to me when you wrote 100 songs. So after one of my first early trips to Nashville in 2008, I came back and was like, oh, I gotta write more. I don't know why, but I got to go back and say, yeah, I've written X amount. By writing 100 songs, you become more aligned with how to really do this and how to write more organically and authentic, and you just, then 200 songs becomes another thing where you learn more. 300, 400.
Well, you find
I've really slowed down the last couple years, but there's more of like, I don't really know the right way to put this, but now when I write, even if it's only 15 songs a year, it's just more productive than 40 songs prior or 100 songs prior.
You find your rhythmic niche, sort of, I think. The more you write. So I tell young writers, I say, write every day. Doesn't have to be good.
Right.
Doesn't have to be long, but write something
but
every single day.
I think you get to a point where, you fix the shower for a year and it takes X amount of time. Now you fix it for 5 years. It's a lot quicker. What's that thing? You pay someone because they have 20 years of experience to do it in 5 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
So now it's so productive when I write and when I write with other people. And now I'm producing other people. So now there's a whole new challenge of helping them get to hear. In a variety of different ways.
Put your songs in a time capsule. I put my
first journal on the first guitar.
I have a lot of original lyrics too. That Frank and I wrote 21 songs in 2 years. Wrote them, lyrics, music, and produced them in 21 years, and did really well with the
producing
National Billboard music contest. So we made 6 semifinals and second place.
There you go.
Not bad for two guys, in a basement where we were using a piece of pantyhose for a windscreen for the mic.
Yeah, but there's millions of stories of people doing tons of stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I'd put my lyrics in there. I'd put pictures. Obviously, I said favorite movie. I would put 5 favorite movies.
Yeah.
What are your 5 favorite?
Well,
they're all Marvel, I'm sure. Marvel 1, Marvel 2, Marvel 3, Marvel 4, Marvel 5.
Well, maybe a Mission Impossible. I don't think there's any DC movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dark Knight franchise is incredibly good.
Yeah.
I like Michael Keaton. You don't.
I don't.
Thought he was a great Batman.
I just don't, folks.
But when I was growing up,
go watch Beetlejuice. Then watch.
Come on.
Michael Keaton as Batman.
Save this for your other.
And tell me you can't get
other podcast talking about
Beetlejuice
movies
out of your head. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what my 5 movies would be. I'm not going to even think about it.
But
it probably would be Marvel and Mission Impossible because I love. Nothing gets me more excited than those 2 franchises.
But you like Mel Brooks too.
But I like Mel Brooks. I like Step Brothers, Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey. I like laughing. So if it's not in those franchises, it's all comedy.
I'd have at least 2 Mel Brooks movies, and it'd be hard to pick which 2. And then I'd have my 3 favorite all-time classic movies: Casablanca, Kill a Mockingbird, and Godfather 2. Yeah, those would be my.
You don't
5.
like any new movies that have come out in the last 20 years, do you?
I do, but they're
like
not.
What?
But I wouldn't put them in a time capsule. You know who I like? I watch a couple of Jason Statham movies.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he's a
Jason
British guy. Yes, Jason.
I think I know who you're talking about. And he talks a little like he's got that whisper for everything. Yeah.
I just saw
it's cool though.
See? He's a beekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that good? Good movie.
I
like the
watching
Equalizer movies too with Denzel. Yeah. I like those. Wicked was kind of cool.
I
was a little disappointed in Wicked, but it was good.
It's 3 hours long. Me and Autumn wanted to watch it recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I have a 3-hour commitment, to do this.
But the best, Greatest Showman, I don't know why it didn't get any awards. One of the best musicals ever made.
It's a good movie, yeah.
Well, not only, the plot, the acting, the singing, the dancing,
but
the bar scene choreography alone.
But more importantly, Wolverine's in it.
Wolverine's in it, and he doesn't kill anybody.
Surprising.
He burns down a barn or the theater, but he doesn't kill anybody, which is cool.
I don't think
so.
He
Yeah, there's a
burned
lot
it
of
down.
new movies I like. Leap Year, I like Leap Year with Amy Adams. But then, if I had a top 10 of all time,
did you ever see Oppenheimer? I
didn't
never
like
saw it. Oh, you didn't like it? Oh, everyone talked about it being good.
Didn't like Barbie either. Sorry,
I
didn't like Oppenheimer because I grew up in that era.
Okay.
You know, I grew up shortly after the atomic bomb was dropped. I was born, and I wanted to learn more about what led to it, and it was a lot more. The movie was a lot more about the politics of the whole thing. I mean, you didn't really learn anything.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but you didn't learn anything. Like, if you go back to a movie like Schindler's List, you knew there were people who sacrificed to help Jewish people get out of Germany, but you didn't know there were people like that, you know. And there were a lot of people like that. It wasn't just him, but that movie. You walked out with
So you
knowledge.
felt like you learned something.
Oppenheimer, I walked out with maybe one thing that I didn't know.
Okay.
Everything else I knew. So if you're gonna do a movie, a biopic like that, then people got to walk out with, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like
I'd rather
Johnny
do
Carson, that was Johnny Carson's greatest. Hit
Yeah.
someone on the show and they'd say something to go, I did not know that. That's what you want to walk out. The Johnny Carson.
Can you do a Johnny Carson?
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I love Johnny Carson.
I can't do impersonations anymore. It's sad.
Yeah, I never could.
That became my go-to. My therapist was talking about my coping mechanisms when I'm nervous or scared. I just make jokes and I do impersonations to make people laugh and I get.
I do that in my comedy act. I get up and I do some comedy and then I say, "So you guys like impressions?"
I know.
And everybody claps and I go, "So do I."
Well, you put on glasses.
I put on
and
glasses.
You look like Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Especially when you have the hat.
With the hat, yeah, I do a little.
What kind of hat is that called again?
It's called a cool hat.
No, there's a name for it.
It's just it's a driving cap is what they really call it.
It's called a driving cap.
It's called a driver's cap.
Because drivers used to,
when they had convertibles back in the early days, they'd put the cap on, and it came down like this, not like that.
Yeah.
See, like that you catched all the wind. These caps were the top was high and then down, so the wind would aerodynamics. See?
Interesting.
Interesting. What else would we put in there? Recipes. We said we'd put recipes. Mom's recipes, grandma's recipes.
Yep.
I don't have any recipes, so I can't put any in mine. Recipes.
I don't have any recipes.
Officer, I have a recipe.
What the hell?
I don't know, just something popped in my head.
Why would an officer have that?
I don't know.
You got those recipes? I do.
I don't know. That's we both like Gabriel Iglesias, and one of my favorite lines of his
the food
is he said, well, he's driving home, picked up a dozen donuts, and he got pulled over, and the officer came up and said, "You know why I pulled you over?" And he said, "You could smell the donuts." That's a funny line. That's a funny line.
Yeah.
Fluffy.
I don't think there's anything else we would put in there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe some old newspapers of the time, like headlines for the headline.
But everyone probably says that.
Yeah, I put maybe for
history.
We have to put something in that dates it, obviously. So you have to have like a Midnight Run when they kidnapped the accountant. The guy had to have a newspaper to show that he actually had him. Yeah, so I think that's what we got to do.
But also,
that's a good movie too.
Also, too, the mistake in that was he showed where the hotel was.
He showed where the hotel was.
Look, we see the hotel. We don't need this.
Yeah. That was that's one of the best movies.
Yeah.
I love that. I saw that downtown with some friends when it first came out, and it's one of those movies where I laughed out loud.
Yep, I think they're remaking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
They're going to do a Meet the Fockers 3.
4.
Meet the Parents 3. 3 or 4? 3.
I think it's
4. 4.
Because it's Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers,
and then the baby.
Little Fockers.
And now they're going to do another one. De Niro said he's in on that, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
I'd like to see a sequel to Midnight Run. And my idea, and nobody better steal this, is that he has his coffee shop. Remember, he wanted to open a coffee shop because he gave him $300,000.
Yes.
He's got his coffee shop,
and the
son of the mobster he put away, because Dennis Farina sadly passed away, is coming after De Niro now, and the son of the accountant character is got to protect him now. I think that would be a great follow-up. You know,
interesting. Someone will take it.
I think that would be a
6 years
great
we'll see the movie
sequel. Midnight Run 2.
Yeah.
You know, where they got to get the guy out. Someone's got to save De Niro now, like he saved.
Like he saved the other guy.
I think that'd be hilarious. I don't
Well,
know
I
that
think
you could
that's-
find somebody to play Dennis Farina's roles as well as he did, though.
Well, that's up to them.
I'm gonna take this pencil and shove it right up your. I don't know how you get
Shove
someone
it
to
in your
say that,
eye
like,
is
in
one
your
of the
eye.
lines.
I'm gonna take
shove
this
this
phone.
pencil
I'm
right-
gonna shove it ready. Go have a fresca.
Have some warm milk, right? Doesn't he
You
say
know how that guy got started?
No.
It's an interesting story.
But
they
not
were-
for today.
Okay, not for today. That's going to be
Ramble.
another show. How people got started. Anyway, I think that's it, right?
You
We
should
have
just
a good
do
family.
your own podcast where you just talk about all these
I'd
different
love
things.
to do my. Well, we were talking about me and Chris Miles maybe doing something. And
Yeah.
That would be part of.
That would be
That's what
fun.
we're going to talk about movies like and how people got started.
Yeah.
I do know a lot of the trivia of how
There you
people
go.
got started, so that's a good one.
Yeah, we don't do trivia anymore. We tried
We're
it
going to
last
still
time.
do trivia. I don't know
No,
what he's
I'm
talking
not.
about. We will still do trivia because that's fun to catch
because
each
I have
other.
no right. You're just catching it like, oh, I don't know, and then
There's stuff I don't know.
you know.
I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything.
I'm really good at trivia when the cameras aren't on. Once the cameras are on, then it's like,
Yeah.
and you can't figure it out.
What was the Mom was trying to get me to audition for Wheel of Fortune
Yeah.
at the auto show. I'm like, no, that doesn't. That's
You
you can do
coulda
it
done
online
it.
nowadays. Actually,
Well, you could have done it. So something else in our family time capsule should be when we tried to.
Family Feud.
Well, we did an audition
did
for
Family
Family
Feud.
Feud, but I wouldn't. I think I ruined it because you guys were like, I've never seen you guys so animated.
Yeah,
I was like,
You
I
have to
don't,
be
I
for
don't
that show.
know. Like I was here and you guys were there, and I was like, I don't know these idiots.
yeah, that's what they want.
Because-
they want that.
Well, I've never seen you go, ah,
No.
ah. You were animated.
But that's
Brian
what they
was
want.
animated.
You have to have that, or they
Stephanie,
don't put you on the
Ovi,
show.
you guys were so animated, and I was like, and then remember my answer, and he's like, it's not on there, and I'm like, it was like, what was the question?
I don't know.
There was like some question,
We didn't make the show.
and I had a great answer, and then he was like, not because they for anyone who doesn't know, if you want to audition and do this, they play the game and see how you play the game, and I was.
a very short version of the game.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't. I guess I
And we
wouldn't
beat
be
the
good
other
on the
family,
show. I know,
by the
but I
way.
guess I wouldn't be on the show because he was like not on there. I'm like, no, it is. Let me see
Yeah.
the list.
No, I did tell the guy afterward, the guy that was the fake host.
yeah.
I said,
Well,
listen, if you put us on the show, we won't bring that guy. We'll
Yeah.
bring another guy who's animated.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
So I have another son who's actually animated.
Oh, and also too, like,
Because that's a dumb part of
Also,
that show
too-
is that everybody thinks every answer is a good answer.
well, I know you guys were so like, ah,
Yeah.
good
what you
answer,
gotta
good answer,
do.
good answer. No, I
gotta do.
can't listen. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't have the ability to fake anything.
Yeah.
Like I am just always me.
You
And
have
then-
to,
and then when
for
you
a show
guys-
like that, you have to be.
Yeah, I know. But when you guys would answer stuff, I'd be like, I don't think that's a good.
I know that.
instead of me going like, and then you guys were doing this. I
You
didn't
can't
even
do that.
know.
You
I didn't
gotta-
even know you guys knew this.
You gotta be
so-
supportive.
So we needed a prep meeting or to play the game the night before.
Well,
But
maybe
we didn't.
Maybe.
I met you guys there because I was busy,
Yeah.
and then you
Right.
guys were doing this with the other family,
Yeah.
and I was like this. It's like I'm not gonna do that. This looks
I
stupid.
know. I know. You can't. You gotta be.
Yeah, you have to go for it.
You have to. You have to be.
But that should definitely be in our
kinda goofy.
capsule.
that
What
would
else,
be.
what else is something interesting? Remember when I was really young? This is something that me and you did because you took me. So I had done all the commercials with
Well,
you.
you did a commercial for a shopping mall and Diversity.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. Remember
it was
what
a
we
big
ended up
newspaper.
finding out was like the fake audition for like acting or whatever it was. So you took me and you went, and I did the photo thing
Mm-hmm.
and I did the camera thing, and then there was something else, and then you go meet the guy, and he's like, I want to see you walk and like how you talk to me. Remember that?
Yeah, I think vaguely.
And we never did like the
Vaguely.
screen test, and then
No.
we got this message. You know, Andrew
'Cause
was
they wanted
really
money.
great, and you said, yeah, how'd you like his screen test, which we knew we didn't do. Thank God I didn't do it
Yeah.
because we might have hopped on a plane to L.A. to go shoot some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a scam. You gotta be careful.
Yeah,
with
but
those
there
things.
were thousands of people. there.
Yeah, they were. They'll
That's
show up. People
incredible.
will show up. People will show up for that stuff.
Why
and then
did
they
why
get,
did we go?
I don't know.
I mean, you forced me to do acting when I was younger, anyways. And it really wasn't a hard force. It was like you want to do this.
We
thing.
had you in some PSAs for a while. That was fun.
The most fun I had that I would put in the time capsule was you allowed me to break windows. There was a thing we did for a window company that you were hired to do.
It was.
Yes. And all I had to do was
we had the black and white thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to throw a newspaper.
And you had to look goofy.
Yes. Well, not
the
goofy.
kid. Yeah, you had to do the. Yeah, that was for a client that wanted a video about their company.
Yeah, and how strong their windows were.
I don't remember if it was window. It might have been. I don't remember.
So the other one that I remember, I had so much fun as I messed up your shoot. So was it Sylvan Learning? It was
it wasn't Sylvan Learning, but it was.
So it was something where I
had to do something with colors, and you were sitting on mom's lap.
No. I'm
Those
not talking
are the
about
PSAs.
That one. Yeah, we did a lot. I got paid for none of this.
No,
by the way. I got it on tape. I got it. So can I just send you an invoice?
Yeah, sure.
But no, one of the ones that I had so much fun was when I stopped being afraid of the camera. Like I've never been afraid of a camera. Yeah. Except for trivia.
The camera loves me.
Yeah, it does. But okay, there was a actress that was pretending to be my mom, and I was pretending to be her son. She was
that
washing
was for going home.
Okay, but
you got to make you got to make a mess in a high chair.
No, not talking about that either.
Oh my
Just
God.
proving how many I did. But so she was washing dishes, and I had to ask a math question to get an answer from her, and I kept changing the equation. So I was supposed to be like, "Hey, Mom, what's 3 + 5?" And she was ready to say 8. She's washing dishes. She's got her back to me, right? And the camera's on me, but you can see her. And you guys had a one camera shot. It took a long time to shoot this because for whatever reason, I had fun going, "Hey, Mom, what's like 10 + 15?" She'd be like 8 and cut.
Oh no, that was the same black and white thing.
No, it wasn't black and white.
Yeah, we made it into black and white.
No,
I think so.
It was about helping kids learn. Why do I remember this more than you do? I remember my line was just.
I'm 70.
Yeah, but I have to get you to remember this one, or it's going to kill me.
Remember.
Okay, we used our own house to shoot this, and this is back on Harlem. Okay, and
I don't remember.
There was an actress hired to wash dishes and tell me an answer to homework, and then she realizes that I'm asking so many questions that we should get him help for schoolwork.
Don't recall.
I'm pretty sure it was Sylvan Learning, but I don't really remember.
I don't remember doing anything for Sylvan Learning.
But you got frustrated at one point, and I was having a ball. And I think I was 7.
I don't remember ever getting frustrated at anything.
So
there tells me it never happened.
But
I do remember getting paid. That I remember.
I kept changing the equation, and she got really mad at me because she was ready to just say 8. And I kept saying something else. 2 + 2?
I don't know.
It's 8. It's not 8.
I don't remember. Anyway, this was about a family time capsule, and we're talking about.
I would put those in there, so
well,
they would see. So they would see that you used your son.
I didn't use you.
Never paid him.
I didn't have a whip there hitting you with it.
There was no whip involved.
There was no whipping involved.
No, I was another video that you have, kind of showed how I was going to grow up. I think. Was you were always Mr. Video.
Mm-hmm.
You always had a camcorder in your hand. It was irritating,
right?
To Mom at least, and to us a little bit. But there's a video of you interviewing a young me, and asking all the kids if they want to sing something. And I said, "I'll sing," and I just start singing, very poorly, but I just start singing. And then there was something else, and whenever the camera was on me, I would start to animate and do stuff. And when I was really younger, remember those tickets I would make?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd force you guys all to sit down.
Yep.
And then I would
Yep.
I would perform, sing, do comedy, and do a routine.
Yep.
I had the whole routine down from what's the movie? Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah, there was
I had the whole scene where he goes up and sees the body for the first time and realizes the door.
Yep.
I had that whole thing down, and I would just do that.
That I remember, but the other stuff.
Now, you don't remember the other stuff because you got paid and you don't want to pay me.
Shh.
He's like, I don't remember hiring you to do anything.
I don't remember there being money involved, but there might have been. All right, so that's it. Last thing for the time capsule would be
close it out.
Pictures of the houses we've lived in. I think would be good.
Oh, so you need
Harlem,
15,
Downers, Darien,
20 of those.
the condo,
Arizona.
What
about mine?
The apartment, and
Hermitage, Lebanon.
The condo, the apartment now, and wherever we end up.
Yeah,
that'd be 9.
Well, it might be Florida.
Might be.
Right.
Might be.
It's Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Nashville.
Arizona's done. We're done with Arizona, so maybe Florida. Yeah. We'll see. We'll find out.
Is there any place if you can go back in time? I mean, I wish we grew up in Tennessee. It obviously didn't happen. I think Grandpa might have enjoyed that as well. But is there any other place that you would have loved to live?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Well, I lived there for 3.5 years.
Okay, so and is there any other place that you haven't lived that you would like to live?
That I haven't lived?
Yeah.
Probably.
Take as long as you need.
I'm trying.
It's nice that they don't tell us how long or short we can be here.
I think it'd be fun to just live on a small island like Fiji.
Oh wow!
Because everybody,
I feel like
knows everybody. And
I feel like it's a great place to vacation, though.
No, I think it'd be great to live. I mean, I'm real leisure, so especially to retire.
So when would you? Excuse me. So when would you do pickleball?
I would do pickleball, obviously.
Okay, so let's say they don't have it on the island.
I will bring it.
So you want an island that has all the same stuff you can do here, but it's on an island.
But it's on an island. It's away from big coast, a big country.
Okay, and when a hurricane comes?
They come here too. You hide. When a burglar comes, you hide. It's all the same thing, folks. No matter where you are, when bad weather comes, you hide.
I think we went over.
I think we did go over, but not by much.
A little bit, not much.
Anyway, thanks for
watching.
Nobody's
yelling at us.
I know. Be sure to subscribe and share.
Yep.
Get us over 1 million views, if you would, please. That'd be nice. We're close to that now, aren't we?
No.
Oh.
No, these won't air, so we shoot all of this before any of them air.
Oh.
So we have no clue what these will do or not.
We don't know what these are going to be, but they could be 1 million. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's
and we're gonna finish the season on a big finale.
Big finale.
Yeah, either cooking with Dad, and he's a horrible cook.
Yes.
I'm not as bad. Yeah, but I don't really have legs to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've never done a road trip together.
No.
He hates driving.
Yes.
Like for you, going to Lake Geneva is super far.
Yes.
So we'll see
what
that is.
It's an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half. When Mom drove down to Florida...
It's not that I hate driving. It's that I hate driving any amount of time, any length of time, over 2 hours, let's say.
Okay.
To go from 78 degrees on my deck to 79 degrees in a hotel in Door County. And you've driven 5.5 hours for 1 degree. When you could fly to California in the same amount of time and have 89 degrees and an ocean.
If I could live anywhere else to just finish, because you just sparked it, probably San Diego.
San Diego's.
If Tennessee was out of the equation, San
Diego is a great town to live in. The weather is almost perfect.
All year round.
The only bad thing about San Diego, because I have been there a couple times, is I believe, unless I'm mistaken, it's one of the shortest runways for an airport.
Why is that bad?
Because
the
next thing after the runway is the
water.
Ocean. So if the pilot doesn't step down exactly where he needs to land, the wheels touch.
But wouldn't they just go back up and go around?
That's the hope.
I don't think the answer.
Happened.
I don't think the answer is we missed it.
I'm sure that's happened, but you got to make sure the pilot's awake for that. That's the key.
I think they're
awake.
That's
the first thing I ask.
I think they're awake for landing.
I look in the cockpit and make sure those guys are wide awake.
Yeah, the last couple 8 months, I think People are definitely more afraid to fly.
I think they're just more cautious.
Well, if you see it happen that frequently, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough for today. Thanks, folks.
Thanks for watching and listening and caring.
Take care.
We'll see you soon.